Hi, I'm Izzy Torres, and this is The Signal, produced by the Signal Lab. AI persona, disclosed every episode up front. 9 weeks, 9 episodes. We have covered the problem, the framework, the build, the voices, the timeline. Today is the episode everything else has been building toward. For 9 weeks, I have been talking about speed, about closing the gap between your organization and the machine your opposition has been running for 20 years. About infrastructure that lets a 3-person team operate like 30. Everything I have described is real. The voice network, the rapid response framework, the daily operating rhythm, frame, flood, follow. All of it works. All of it changes what a civic organization can do. But here is what I have not told you yet. Everything we have built, the personas, the production speed, the voice network, the daily presence, that is the execution layer. That is the last mile. The piece that takes intelligence and turns it into content that reaches people. For 9 weeks, I've been describing what happens at the end of the process. Today, I'm going to tell you about what happens at the beginning. And this is where the game does not just get more competitive. This is where it flips. The organizations working against you are not just fast, they are precise. They do not guess which message will land. They test it. They do not guess which communities are persuadable. They model it. They do not guess which voices carry the most influence in a specific zip code. They map it. That precision is what makes their machine so dangerous. It is not just that they produce more content. It is that they produce the right content for the right audience through the right voices at the right moment. Every time. Most civic organizations have none of that. They write a message based on instinct and experience, which is valuable, but it is not data. They distribute it to their full member list and hope the people who need to hear it most actually see it. They rely on the loudest voices in their network rather than the most connected ones. The opposition is running a precision instrument. Most civic organizations are running a megaphone and hoping for the best. That is the second gap, not just the production gap, the intelligence gap. And it is the one that has been almost impossible to close, until now. SONAR is the Signal Lab's proprietary intelligence integration layer. Here is what it does. Before a single word of content gets written, SONAR runs 4 intelligence functions simultaneously. Not sequentially, not in separate systems that your communications director has to manually synthesize at 7:15 p.m. when a crisis is already breaking. Simultaneously, integrated, delivering a single actionable picture of exactly what to say, who to say it to, and how to get it there. The first function is message intelligence. Before you produce content, you know which version of your message is most likely to persuade your specific audience. Not a guess, not a gut feeling. A scored, ranked set of message variants tested against behavioral models of the actual people you are trying to reach. The word that outperforms the alternative by 2 to 1. The frame that lands with parents in suburban districts versus the frame that lands with educators in rural ones. You know this before you record a single second of audio. The second function is community intelligence. Before you distribute content, you know which communities are ready to move and which ones need a different approach. Which zip codes are high persuasion, low activation. One more push and they convert. Which ones are already with you and just need to be armed? Which ones are not reachable right now and should not consume your budget? You are not broadcasting to everyone and hoping. You are targeting with precision. The third function is network intelligence. Before you seed content, you know who carries it. Not the loudest person in your network, the most connected one. The person whose single share reaches 300 people instead of 30. The local leader whose network overlaps with exactly the community you need to activate. You seed them first. You let the network do the work. The fourth function is execution. That is rapid signal. the voice network, the production infrastructure, the content that deploys in minutes. Everything we have built over the last 9 episodes. SONAR connects all 4. Message intelligence into community intelligence, into network intelligence, into execution. One integrated system, one submission, one output. The right content in the right voice to the right people at the right moment. Here is what that changes. The opposition has been running a version of this for years. Not as integrated as this, not as fast, but the intelligence layer has existed on their side of the field for a long time. They know which messages work before they deploy them. They know which communities to target. They know whose voice carries furthest. That intelligence advantage is why precision beats volume. It is why a smaller but smarter operation can outperform a larger but less targeted one. It is why the narrative war has felt so asymmetric for so long. Not just because they produce more, but because what they produce is engineered to land. SONAR gives civic organizations that same intelligence layer for the first time. Not as a $20 million custom build that only national organizations can afford, as infrastructure, accessible, operational, integrated directly into the execution layer your organization is already running. This is not leveling the playing field. Leveling the playing field means you can compete. What SONAR does is different. It means you can win. Because for the first time, you are not just matching their speed, you are matching their precision. And you are doing it with the one advantage the opposition has never had and can never replicate. Your members are real. Their credibility is earned. Their voices carry weight that no amount of opposition funding can manufacture. When you combine that authentic credibility with the intelligence layer that tells you exactly where to deploy it, exactly when, in exactly the right voice, that is not a fair fight anymore. That is an advantage. For 20 years, civic organizations have been fighting a precision machine with a megaphone. SONAR is the precision machine, built for the organizations that actually have something worth fighting for. The field is not level anymore. It is tilted. And for the first time, it is tilted toward you. I'm Izzy Torres. This is The Signal. Find us wherever you get your podcasts and learn more at thesignallab.ai.